Guys, it's CJ per usual. Today I want to talk about how my cat's hopping up here. I want to talk about prisons. And how I feel that the idea of them is wrong and they shouldn't exist. Okay, so basically I feel like prisons as a structure are entrapping humans, and in no situation do I think humans should ever be contained. I think it is not natural for us to be held captive because no matter how you think about it, prison is keeping you in a place where you cannot leave legally. You will be put back there. You are unable to leave that place. I don't think that should be legal. Now, I think that there's alternatives that could work. There's some. However, it's a very difficult issue because on one hand, you don't want murderers and rapists and bad people on the street, but you also don't want them I don't want them to be held captive. They're human beings at the end of the day. And I feel like it's wrong for them to be put there. Hi, cat. I don't know. I feel like the idea of prisons just doesn't sit well with me. I feel like it is wrong to keep humans in a place where they cannot escape. It is wrong. And do I look so fucking stupid doing that? Yes, I do. Well, this pineapple juice is fucking hitting. But I don't know. I feel like it's wrong for humans of any caliber, no matter what they did, to be held captive, I should say. I feel it is a violation of them as humans. I feel like even if you commit a heinous crime, your actions, I don't think you should be imprisoned. I think there's better alternatives such as rehabilitation. Maybe, here's how I think about it. I think the best way to solve the prison situation would be to... I don't like that sound. I think the best way to solve the prison situation would be to make it so that, it's rehabilitation first, because obviously rehabilitation is more important than... You biting me? Rehabilitation is more important than... punishment. I don't think humans should ever be because if they're doing that, there's something wrong with them. They're not right. And be it psychopathy, sociopathy, whatever it's called, those things, schizophrenia, there's something wrong with them and they need help. That's not something a sane person does. And if they do, there's still something wrong with them, because no one should want to kill and harm their own species. Intentionally kill and harm their own species. If, I got him in a chokehold. You're really needy. If a altercation occurs and someone dies, that is an accident. They're a violent person. Well, they're somewhat violent, but they're not they didn't have any intent. I feel like if you have the intent to murder, there's something wrong with you. And so I feel that no matter what, it should be... What the fuck? I think it is something that... Get back. I think that we should have it how rehab is. So you have a parental figure or family figure check the person who's not mentally well into a facility, not permanently, and if they ask to leave and they're above the age of 18, they can leave. Now, that comes with a few like tests and stuff. And even then, you're still entrapping that person. But I feel like the way that it is done, where you have a set time in that entrapment over just when you are ready, I feel like that's a lot more suitable. And I feel like it would benefit humanity a lot more. Because if you are in prison for 5 years for murdering someone and you're punished instead of like rehabilitated, what's stopping you from doing it again? What's stopping you from, as soon as you get out of there, killing somebody? Nothing. I think we should focus on rehabilitation over punishment, and it shouldn't be as entrapping. Now, obviously, like any punishment is entrapment to some sort. And as unfortunate as that is, it's part of not life per se, but it's part of like natural order that will happen eventually. It will happen. Imprisonment will happen. And as sad as it is, we should deafen the effects of it to the least it can. And this stupid cat is lying on my arm, so that people can be brought back into the normal world as soon as possible. I want to talk about prisons today. I thought that'd be interesting to talk about. Okay. Now I hit the 6-minute mark, and no one is probably going to see this ever because they're not going to watch it. I want to start something in my city where I'm going to call it the youth leftist movement of Fort Morgan. I think I put it down here somewhere. No, I didn't. I'm actually going to change the name of this document to that. Youth movement of youth leftist. You fucking chud. Leftist movement of ULM. Youth leftist movement. I don't know, I feel like it's something. I want to start this. I have a few people that I'm positive. I want to start it, and I think the best way to do it is I have a plan. Well, I want to spread a lot. For reference, I live in a very Republican town, and unfortunately, yeah, I do. And I don't like that, and I feel like this town, just from what I'm seeing, is spiraling into increasing far rightism, fascism, and the likes. And I feel like, dude, look at the beard. Whoa. Do I high-key mog? But I feel like my town is spiraling into increasing like fascist vision because they're Trumpsters, really. They all believe in they're very much like Trump Republicans, and they see what ICE is doing and they don't complain because they just dislike immigrants, which, first of all, that's a fucking problem. My town's like 50% immigrants. Do you know what could happen if that's a sponsorship? Red Bull Zero should sponsor me. I love those. But no, I don't. I don't like capitalism. But we're spiraling towards fascism in my city. 11,000 people in my town, incredibly fast. I don't like a lot of people I know aren't mad at what ICE is doing because they don't like immigrants. In my school, I'm a junior in high school, has a very high Central American population, and they have like there's a hallway that is the ELA hallway, and numerous people, most of the school calls that the GWAT hallway, and I think that's a problem because yes, it's primarily Guatemalans there, but to say that and then in other classes they make fun of them, they joke about them for like fucking GWATs, like to just a few days ago in my American government class, a classmate of mine looked back at me because I don't really express my politics, and if you look at me, I don't look like a crazy leftist. He goes back and he's like, fucking gwats. I was like, what the fuck, dude? He didn't understand the question. He immigrated here. He didn't understand the question. Hop off him, dude. You know how fucked up that is to just call someone a fucking gwat? Like, that's probably a slur, and I probably shouldn't be saying it, but that's what they call them. And I think that's a problem. I think that's a huge problem. And, yeah. Here's an example of what I think this town is, what's happening in my town. You see this paper? As Trump and the right-wing party get more and more extreme, see how the polls, they get increasingly far down? Now let's put, one second. Here is a cork. We're going to lie this cork on here and hope it doesn't roll off. So if we have this cork, let's just say it's somewhere in the middle. Okay, perfect. As Trump, he's interested. But you see what happens. As Trump and the right part, holy shit, bucket, by the way. As the right-wing party, they're increasingly more extreme in their attacks and in their movements. People aren't going to disagree with them as much. They're either going to be there, and it's going to cause people to be either very far left or very far right, because the middle ground is not a good place to be, because the middle ground is shifting. The middle ground 10 years ago was a middle ground. Not middle ground. It's still pretty Republican. But, the middle ground was here 10 years ago. It's here now. Because we've gone so far right that, I don't know. You get what I'm saying. And it's an issue. It's a fucking problem. That shouldn't be how it is. In no way that should be how it is. That's fucking ridiculous. But I want to, I want to say that, God, you're a needy cunt. Oh, that's a rude word. I'm sorry. I think it's important that my city has a group of youthful people who not only can fight back against the radical right, but also educate them on values and teach them the right, because nothing's really right. It's a social construct. Nothing's right, nothing's wrong. But what's morally correct, or objectively morally correct, because again, morals are subjective. And you have to just be as close to as right as possible. But I think that is something that I want to do. I'm very intrigued to start it. And if you watch this far, which you probably haven't, I'm going to be real. Sorry. But, high-key, you're not invited because I'm evil. Just kidding. If you want to join, 970-467-6313. And you good. All right. Peace out. I love all of my fans. I love everyone ever besides Ronald Reagan. And, God, she's made my tongue go quiet. And a few others. All right. Peace out, motherfucker.